I don't know about you, but I love people who help me vertically develop. These are people, maybe thought leaders or gurus, who help me see and make meaning of my world in more cognitively and emotionally sophisticated ways. Brene Brown is one of those for me. So for example, she helps me to make meaning of vulnerability in a better way than I used to. I used to see vulnerability as a sign of weakness. I now understand that it is a sign of strength. Because I make meaning of it differently, I think I'm gonna be more willing to be vulnerable. Let me show you a video clip from somebody else who I really respect and helps me vertically develop, and that's Simon Sinek. Let's watch this clip.
You cannot have innovation or progress without failure. It doesn't exist. And if you truly aren't failing as you're trying to innovate, then you're probably not pushing very hard because you haven't broken anything. You're making very, very safe choices. We could never have put a person on the moon without a bunch of rockets blowing up first. Like, of course. I met a CFO once. I asked him the priorities at the company, and he said efficiency and innovation. And I laughed and said, well, good luck with that. Innovation is inherently inefficient because it requires experimentation. And experimentation requires failure. Much is said about fail fast. I actually don't like the term I think we overuse the term failure. And the problem with the word failure is it's like the word cancer. It's too broad. Like if you have stage 4 liver cancer or you have a mild melanoma, those things are both called cancer, but they are clearly not the same thing. And the same thing is when we hear the word failure. Some people think failure means experimentation, but a lot of people think failure means catastrophe. And so when we tell our company, failure is good, fail fast, that literally scares people. We don't want to fail. So I think we need a new word, right? We want to avoid failure. Failure is catastrophic and it should be avoided. But falling, I think we should encourage. When a kid falls off a bicycle, we didn't tell them they failed. We tell them they fell. And what do we tell them? Get back up and try again. So I don't want to tell people they failed. I want to see people they fell. And I want to encourage them to try again and brush off their knees. So I think we should fall and fall often. And I will judge the quality of innovation not necessarily by if you fell, but how quickly you can pick yourself back up and try again.
In this clip, Simon Sinek helps me to understand that failure is not an indictment against me. If I fail, that doesn't mean that I'm a failure. Failure may be the best way to learn and grow. And I love how he tries to help us rephrase it, that it's not failure, it's falling. Just because we fell doesn't mean we're a failure. But when we fall, we learn from that. To me, that feels more like a more cognitively and emotionally sophisticated way of viewing failure. Hopefully it feels that way to you too.